Lord Jesus Christ Church. I'm glad that we are able to connect with each other through this video, and I feel sad that we were not able to meet this Sunday and worship the Lord together. But for sure I know that we are going to come back again to the church, and we will be worshiping Lord Jesus Christ. And you must be wondering what is happening around me and this world, and everywhere you see panic, and you must be wondering why this is happening to this world. So what I would suggest you is, instead of doing that, let us go and take some verses from Bible and see what God is wanting to tell you through this Bible, and in this situation, and how do we implement in this situation is what we are going to see today. I'm happy that I'm able to bring this sermon to your houses or to your mobiles or wherever you are sitting and watching this. Before getting into the sermon, I would like to say that you all stay safe at home. As government has instructed, it is better that you keep yourself self-quarantined and keep yourself clean by washing your hands, or by any means that you can keep yourself clean away from this virus. One more most important thing is, as a country we are passing the second stage of the spread of this virus, and I know how deadly it is to be affected by this virus, and how it is going to make changes in your body and lead you towards your death. It's not only leading you towards the death, and it is spreading in such a way where nobody could even imagine that if it spreads in such a speed to everyone. And I would insist the church members to stay at home no matter what it is, except for the emergency situations. You keep yourself quarantined so that you don't affect the community or your relations or your loved ones if you have been affected. It's not that if you are affected that you're going to die. It is something which is curable, and again many informations have come out stating that a lot of people have survived this virus and survived the situation, and so we don't need to worry. So keep yourself strong, and keep yourself self-quarantined, and be safe in your houses. So let's get into the sermon now. So this is something which I received from one of my senior pastors who would always been my good advisors, and two verses I would like to take from what he had said me these days. I see a lot of church sermons, I see a lot of people going live, and I see a lot of believers commenting and posting and do a lot of things online. And I've spoken to a few people over the phone, and what I have understood is everyone in this world is terrified, and they are in a situation where they are filled with fear, and they don't realize that righteous does not fear according to this verse. But if you ask me, fear is something which Satan wants to put in you, and I don't think a believer should fall for such a fear in what Satan is trying to do with it. This fear is something which every believer nowadays has gone across through out of dear church. So as we get into the sermon, I would like to take 2 pointers which is very, very helpful and useful for us during these times, and we can implement it in this situation, and we can practice, and we can even teach people about the same pointers that I'm going to teach you through this sermon, and it will be definitely helpful for us and for the people who are around us and for the people who are looking this video too. So we'll turn our Bibles towards Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 1. So this is something which is very powerful, and we all have to cling on to this verse, which Bible says, the righteous are as bold as a lion. But if you see, for example, past 2 weeks I've been listening to a lot of informations, and I see everybody is filled with fear inside them, and everybody are trembling with something, thinking about what is going to happen to me with this spread of this virus or this disease. And what am I going to do if this is going to affect me or my family or my relations or my friends or whatever? And one particular thing that I notice, it's not with only the non-believers, it's even with the believers. They are so terrified with the situations, what is happening around them, just by listening to the media which is projecting this information. What I would suggest is, as a believers, and if you are a believer and if you're righteous, I would say that this verse is what it is reminding us is, we have to be bold as a lion during the situations. You must be wondering why, how come pastor, you are sitting in your house, you're sitting in your car and you have everything, and you might be telling, say, it is easy for you to tell that you have to be bold, and you might even say that pastor, we don't have as much as protection as you have or anybody else in this world have, or as rich people, or as anyone who is able to afford something. It's not like that. I would say, if you're righteous, your righteousness doesn't mean that you have enough of money, or if you don't have enough of money, or you are capable or you are not capable of bringing you out of the situation, or whatever it is. Righteousness is something which you have in you as a believer. When you believe in Jesus Christ and you follow His words and you follow His footsteps, you call yourself a righteous believer of Christ. If you call yourself a righteous believer of Christ, one thing that I would urge is, you have to be as bold as a lion. So that is what I would say. I know for sure everybody who is watching this video will definitely have fear in your heart, and it is human tendency to have something like that when you hear a disastrous news like this. But the Bible says in Joshua chapter 1, it says in the verse 6, 7 and 9, that be strong and courageous, be not afraid, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So that's what this verse says. 3 times it says, not once, not twice, 3 times it says, do not be afraid, be strong, be courageous. This is what the verse says. If you go to the previous verse and if you see, yes, a lion, if you take a lion, yes, it is strong, it is it is courageous, and it is not afraid of anything. So as a believers, so this is the first point I would like to insist, and I would like to record stating that as a believer, as a righteous Christian, it is your responsibility to not to fear of what is happening around you and to stay bold. So the reason why I would say is, only if you are bold and only if you are strong enough to understand that our God is mightier than the situation, you will be able to tell that to others who are terrified. If as believers we are terrified and if we are filled with fear, there is no way that we can go and spread what God has told us to do, and we cannot go and spread the boldness that God has given us, and we cannot go and say somebody else that my God is mightier than anything else that in this world, or you cannot go and say that my God can heal you from any situation. And that is the reason why again and again this Bible verse keeps reminding us to be out of fear and to be bold and courageous and to be strong. So this is the first point that I would like to tell to church. And we as believers, we have to work on this. And I for sure know that everybody has the courage that God has given in your heart to take and exercise that. So we'll go to the second point, and we'll turn our Bibles towards Psalm chapter 31 and verse 15. And this is something which is very beautiful. It says, our times are in His hands. So this is in relation to the words that we spoke the previous point in the previous. And this verse says, our times are in His hands. So many of us have this fear of dying, and you must be wondering, how am I going to die, and when this death is going to happen to me. So this is something which you guys keep thinking. So church, I will tell you something. Nothing is there in our hands. According to this verse, Bible very clearly says, even if one strand of your hair had to fall down from your body, it doesn't fall without the permission of God. So, Psalmist is very clearly said this verse, your times are in His hand. If you have a thinking that so many people have died in this world because of this corona, and what is going to happen to me? Am I going to die? So I would ask you to think something. Say for example, my age is 30 and I have traveled across many countries. I have traveled across many cities. I have traveled in many vehicles. I have traveled in flights. I have traveled in ships, boats. I have traveled in motorbikes. And I know that many of you also would have traveled in that same way. And if any of this had to go wrong, any of this travel, maybe your flight, which is not in your control at all, maybe if it's your ship or your boat, again it's not in your control, you are traveling in the ocean, where nobody even knows if you go down or drown in the sea. The only thing that had protected us is the hands of God during these days. For example, imagine 30 years of my life, how much I would have traveled, and how much of diseases I would have come across, and how much of sickness I would have had in my body. I would ask the church to remember something. Our God has brought us to this extent and to this age because He loves His children and His hands of protection is upon us. And that's when we have come to this age. And if God says it is your time for you to leave, I don't think Corona can be one reason. It's the reason where God has decided your time. And nothing can stop that. So, if you are a righteous man and if you are bold, and you will not be afraid of that because you are going to be in the hands of God even after your death. So that's the beauty of being a Christian. And He very clearly mentions that you don't have to be worried about everything that is happening around you because you are in His perfect hands. Your time is in hands and you are with the perfect God, and you have been managed, monitored and protected by our God, our loving Savior. So that's what I would like to urge and finish this short sermon. And I pray that everybody be safe in your houses, and God will definitely help us to overcome the situations that we're coming across in these days. And we'll meet up soon again. God bless you all.